This is Russ Allman, Director of Communications with the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. I'm here today with Marco Martinez. He is our one of our newer board members, and this is part of our series of talking to each of our board members so that our senior center community has an opportunity to learn about all of the people on their board of directors that are making decisions for them. So thank you for agreeing to do this with me today.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about yourself. What is your, where did you grow up, your history in the Valley?
So, okay, I've been a Wenatchee resident for about 30 years. I grew up over a little farm town on the other side of Moses Lake, a little town called Warden. Potatoes are big in Warden. Yeah, I've lived in Wenatchee for about 30 years. So to me, Wenatchee's the big city. As silly as that sounds, I'm sure to some people. I really like the size of the community. I really like the connections you can make. I couldn't imagine living in a huge city where it's harder to feel like you're part of a community. So yeah, I'm happy to call Wenatchee home.
Good. What made you decide to become a board member?
Well, I was asked. Dave asked me. Might have been one of the last things he did when he was leading the senior activity center. It was asked me to join the board as an at-large member. I'm one of 4 at-large board members. So I think it's, for a lot of the at-large, I think it's a chance to learn about more about the operation, and with that notion that maybe you'll fill one of the regular slots. Yeah, I have learned a lot in the past year. I've enjoyed the company of the people on the board, and I've been really impressed with their dedication to this facility.
What do you see as the as the biggest issues for us going forward?
You know, so I mentioned I'm impressed with the board and its dedication to the facility and the people that come here regularly and sometimes not regularly. I think the biggest issue is obviously space. I mean, the membership. You're doing a great job growing the membership. Every room that is available is being used, and so the big campaign going on right now to raise funds for the the expansion for the thrift shop. I think that's priority number 1 in a lot of ways. Priority 1A has got to be serving the people that are coming here every day, making sure they feel like this is their place. There's something for them, a way for them to plug into the facility and feel a connection, not just to the place, but to the people around them. So I'm pleased on both ends, the progress that's being made. It's hard work. It's uphill climb to get the funds raised to do the addition. But in the meantime, this place is, it's busy, it's hopping. And I'm really impressed with the work that you're doing and the other leadership here are doing to kind of, again, make people feel like this is their place.
So I'm curious, when is the first time you became familiar that the senior center was here?
Okay, good question. So my wife and I were married back in 1997, and we were planning our wedding, and we were looking for a place to do our wedding reception, and it wasn't a big budget wedding. It wasn't a big budget wedding, and we came across this facility and asked about it, and it was perfect. We didn't have a big wedding. It wasn't, grand. It was just family and friends, and we had our wedding reception here. And we were married at a church in East Wenatchee, and then had the wedding reception here. And that was back in 1997. So, it's almost 30 years coming up in a couple of years. So, one of the happiest days of our lives. And I always remember there were a couple of, I don't remember their names, but there were a couple of senior center members who were kind of our chaperones that day, and they had so much fun themselves. At the end of the day, they were thanking us for being here and for including them in our celebration. Happy memories.
Yeah, I think that's one message that we do want to get out to the community too, is that we do have rooms available for renting for special events. Right now, because of our thrift shop taking up so much of our building, our smaller suites are limited. but we have a social hall that is can hold up to 200 people, and we do regularly hold weddings, reunions, things like that here, and so that is available for people who are interested.
So yeah, that's a good point to make. So last fall, I am the coordinator of the local WSU Master Gardener program. And last fall, our program, which is roughly about 100 active volunteers, we had our annual meeting here. And annual meeting sounds kind of boring. It's kind of a celebration, year-end celebration. We do a potluck and we give out awards. And yeah, it's a happy time for our program. And we moved here last year for the first time and really happy. There were about 120 of us, and it just was a great fit. We had the facility for a few hours. We were able to decorate and do a little potluck, and yeah, it was perfect for us.
So, did you? I mean, obviously, you were here for your wedding, but I mean, were you familiar at that time with the extent of the activities that were taking place here?
No, definitely not. It wasn't until I would see the reader board outside and see, oh, there's stuff happening, but I never really plugged in. We had come to a few dances here over the years. My wife loves to dance. I jokingly tell people she's happiest when she's dancing, but it's probably the truth. So yeah, we would see there were dances, the big band, and other things like that, and we would come here and always have a good time. So I was familiar with those things, but not like the bread and butter, the day-to-day activities here. And I wasn't really familiar with the ins and outs until Dave introduced me to this place and kind of explained how things worked. And it just kind of was like, wow, there's a lot happening here.
Yeah, I think it's one of the biggest issues we have with the community is there are a lot of people that don't even realize that we're here, and a lot of people that drive by because just from the front of the building it doesn't scream activity center. It probably comes across, if people know that it's related to seniors, they probably think more retirement community. And that actually comes up a lot. People will, when we ask people if they've ever visited the facility, they'll say no, and then they ask us how many beds we have. And of course our answer is we have no beds, and our thrift shop doesn't even sell beds. So there are no beds in this facility whatsoever. But usually they're kind of looking a little puzzled. And then the way I explain it now is I say, well, we're a boys and girls club for adults over 50. And that, then they get it right away. And that's really what we are.
Yeah.
But it's a hard point to get across to people. And I think it's because of that senior word hanging out there, which is part of why we've going through this renaming process right now. We just finished doing a contest. We had over 500 entries suggesting new names for our organization, and by next week, supposedly, we're making a choice. I'm going to make a decision on what the new one's going to be. We don't know yet, but we're trying to change our name more so that people understand that we are a multi-generational facility, and we really always have been, because right now we have 3 generations of seniors that use the senior center, and there are younger people that come here on a regular basis too.
Yeah. I brought my daughter in for lunch a few times this summer. In fact, today we had lunch, and she's 19 years old, but she feels comfortable here. The people always are nice. They make her feel welcome, and
I'm impressed you've got a 19-year-old that's willing to go to lunch with you.
Yeah, and come to lunch here, and it's just like, oh, what kind of food is it going to be, Dad? And it's just like, well, it's good. It's a good lunch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've we really encourage people to bring in their families with them for lunch. We've had times when we've had 4. I think our record is 4 or 5 generation group that came in for lunch at once. It's pretty cool when you can do that, and especially with cost of going out to eat now, for us to be able to do it for our members for $5 a person.
Yeah, it's definitely, you can't beat that price. I mean, you get a good lunch for $5. It's well rounded. It's like I really enjoy the soup and sandwich lunches on Tuesday. I'm a soup guy, so yeah, I really enjoy that.
So one of the things I want to touch on, and you know, you can decide how far you want to go with this, but I really want to talk about the multicultural aspect of the senior center. When you come in here, it is, I don't know how I say it politely. There are not a lot of dark skins in here right now.
Yeah, not a lot of people
any,
of color.
Of
Yeah.
any race. It's one of the things that we really genuinely do want to do a better job of is encouraging people of all backgrounds and races to use our facility. People who are seniors come in all different shapes, sizes, and colors, and we want to make sure that we're recognizing that. But it's not an easy solution because you have to make it. Maybe you can talk about that from your perspective.
From my perspective, I think it's not a sprint. I think it's a marathon. I think it's one of those deals where, once you start, you make it a point that this is what we would like to do. You can't let up, but you kind of have to keep beating the drum. And I think it's important that you do make those connections, and slowly, in those connections that you make, they're going to introduce you to other people that will learn what this facility is about and the things we do here. And so I think it's a long-term goal with little wins along the way.
How do you think there would be ways we can better reach out to the Latinx community?
I think there's some, just like in social media, there are influencers. I think there are influencers in this community, and I think it's a matter of connecting with the right influencers that are going to help us tell the story of this place and the people. I'm not a social media beast, so I don't really think of myself as an influencer in this community. I work my job for WSU Extension. I'm a full-time dad. I've got 2 teenage daughters. So I'm not as active in the community as I probably will be in a few years when my daughters are, in their 20s and out of the house. But I know they're out there, and I know a few of them. So I think it's doable again if we connect with the right people to help us tell that story.
Mm-hmm. And I will say that we have tried to do some multicultural events here. They've been extremely popular, both with our existing members and with people from the outside. We did a Cinco de Mayo celebration a couple of years ago. It was packed. Our social hall was completely packed, and people had a blast. So the interest is there on both within here, and I think there is in the community too. It's just like you said. I do agree with you. I think it's about reaching influencers, because within any segment of the population, there are influencers that affect other people's decision making, and that's part of the key is having them become your ambassadors.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, ambassadors.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to touch on that I haven't?
No, I just I feel when I come here, I feel very welcome. I've never had a bad experience here. I'm looking forward to the day when I can invest more time in this facility, when I'm more the retired age, and can take full advantage of all the benefits that all the programs that are offered. It's a little bit harder when you're working full time. I kind of have to pick and choose, but I'll get to the day where I'm playing. I'm doing classes down here and joining groups, and I'm looking forward to that.
Aren't we pretty close in age?
I'm in my mid-50s.
Yeah, so today's my 56th birthday. So
okay, happy birthday, happy birthday, Russ.
I thought I remembered we were.
Yeah, I'm
age,
right
so,
behind you.
Yeah,
months.
Yeah. So these are younger seniors right here, just so that's out there.
Yeah, it's amazing when you turn 55. You all of a sudden you can order from the senior menu at Denny's, and it's just like, wow, life
I've had my AARP card for a while now, so
I need to
but,
look into that. I haven't done that yet.
you know, it's one of those things that's changed a lot, and as a society in general, I think, is as people have continued to live longer, our perception of our own age and how we see ourselves changes too. And you know, there are people in their 70s that I've met that won't come to the senior center because they don't want to be hanging around old people,
Yeah.
which are the people that are their age and younger, but they just don't want to see themselves that way. Somehow there's that perception of somehow being old because you're around people.
Yeah, for some it's a little bit of a stigma, you know,
Yeah.
being at that age. But I would just suggest to them, come down,
Yeah.
try it, and if you don't like it, then yeah, you can at least say you've tried it.
There are a lot of things to do here. I mean, I tell people we have everything from aerobics to Zumba, and everything
From A
in
to Z.
between.
Yep.
And you know, there are things for people that want to do more sedentary activities like adult coloring and writers group, to more active creative things like the senior singers. They need more men. They always need more men. Just putting that out there. Don't let them know I'm a baritone because I don't have time to do it. And then, you know, active classes like line dancing and aerobics and Zumba and, you know, things that baby boomers love.
Yeah.
And we even have multiple sail classes here, and those have people of all ages, you know, everything from 50 to 90 in those classes. So really wide range of things to do here. And there are also lots of volunteer opportunities because being a nonprofit, the majority of our workers are volunteers. And we could not run this place without the great network of volunteers that we have. And feel free to come for lunch. We have we serve lunch Tuesday through Friday. It is $10 for non-members, $5 for members. You just can't beat it.
Yeah, and you can find the menu online.
Yeah.
On the senior center website.
Yep. Okay. Well, thanks for chatting with me today, and thank you for being on our board of directors too.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thanks, Russ.